Hi everyone, welcome back to the GMTK Game Jam, a 48-hour game-making marathon. If you're watching this video as soon as it goes out, that means you have 2 days to make a game, and your game has got to fit the following theme. This year, for 2020, the theme is out of control. As ever, how you interpret that is entirely up to you. A mountain bike with no brakes is out of control. A game where the rules change every turn is out of control. A virus that can leap from host to host is out of control. The GMTK Jam is about design, innovation, and creativity.
Hey everyone, this video is me going over my entry to the GMTK 2020 Game Jam. But I thought I'd do it differently, and in this video I'm sectioning it off into 3 separate parts, with timestamps in the description. First will be my initial process behind what I did when I learned the theme. Second will be me actually creating the game, and third will be what I've learned from this game jam. So without any more delay, let's get right into it. Out of Control was this year's theme for the GMTK 2020 Game Jam, a jam on which you have 40 hours to make a game. Now, I've never done a jam of this type before, usually doing ones we have a week, but I had faith in myself that I could do this, so I decided to do it. The theme was revealed around 8 PM and I got straight to work scribbling down notes in my notebook, and I came up with 3 initial ideas. A game where you have a limited number of controls, a game with out of control gravity and time, and a fighting game where you lose control. I also came up with a name rather quickly, which is something I don't tend to do, and the game is going to be called Out of Your Hands. After some debating, I got some opinions, and my good friend Thomas Love gave me the idea for a platformer where we don't control the character but the world around them, which I think fit perfectly with the theme, so I went with that. For this jam though, I had a trump card. I was going to use an asset pack, because you are actually allowed to do that. Art, as much as I enjoy it, eats up most of my time, and honestly I'm not the best at it. So using the asset pack I got from Kenny, I would be able to save myself loads of time in this jam, and have the art majority of the sounds done for me. So after scribbling down some basic ideas for what I wanted in the game, I got straight into it. I started by importing the Kenny assets into the project. I then created a simple 2D character movement script, and I changed it so it was constantly moving in one direction. I then made it so hitting walls would cause the player to swap the direction it was moving in. This is all quite simple to make. I then wanted to create an obstacle just so I could have some kind of interaction. The first obstacle I wanted was a chain that was swinging and the player would have to destroy it to avoid death. And this was also quite simple to do. I watched a tutorial on how to use hinge joints in Unity, and I was able to get a chain swinging side to side. I then attached a weight to it, and if that hits the player, you die, to say. So I then needed a way to destroy the object, so I added a bomb, and on throwing it or dropping it near the weight, it would detach it from the chain. But you need to hit it again to fully destroy it and to stop it being a threat. Using the tile map, I fleshed out a fair section of the game. I added springs, which were the bane of my life in this game, which make the player jump when you land on them. Although the jumps weren't consistent, and I didn't have enough time to figure out why, so I just strategically placed them so that the player should always be able to continue when they land on them. I wanted more obstacles and more destructible objects, so I added a crate that would get blown up and spikes that would kill the player when you touch them. With the first section done in the game, I worked on the second area. The area features a button with a rock on it. Removing the rock causes the bridge to collapse. A simple little interaction, but I thought it was quite nice. An issue I discovered at this point is for some reason the player when walking onto new ground areas wouldn't be able to move properly. This is probably because I set up the ground check incorrectly. So to remedy this, I made this player fall into new areas even if it was just one block, and this seemed to solve the issue. I decided not to question this and just carry on. In the next section of the second area there is a gap, which the player bounces over and they walk onto a lever covering up the gap. But doing so causes a wall to fall, and the player starts to walk the other way, and they activate the lever, again removing the cover. Initially this wasn't that fun, it was just kind of annoying to watch the player do so. So I did a bomb spawner where the player needs to quickly grab the falling bombs and move out of the way to stop it from blowing you up. You fall down the gap and you land in the third and final section of the game. In this section, the world turns slightly dark as you're underground, and the new obstacle that you really have to avoid is lava. I initially used springs to bounce the player over the lava, but that didn't work out at all because the jumps, like I said before, were just too inconsistent, and the player would sometimes get stuck. So I added a feature I'd wanted to do from a previous idea for the jam, which was I added gravity changing. So there are arrow indicators that will tell you which way you'll be going. I then added a very rushed pushing area, so when the player falls into this collision box, it pushes them that a certain direction. And as I was moving the player with its rigid body rather than using transform, it meant me adding force was no issue. So in this area, the gravity swaps and the player gets pushed around, but the player can't really do much, they're just kind of watching the character. So I added spikes and more lava, and now we just need a way for them to avoid that, which is when I created a platform which the player can grab, and it can use it to protect the little character from flying too far up or falling down into the lava. You can also just whack the player and get to the end, but let's not delve into that issue I couldn't solve. So, you get to the final section, the player regains movement in the character, you walk into your home and the game is finished. After I got the main sections of the game done, I decided I needed to create the extras. So I added UI, background music, decorated the world a bit, I added a death counter, I made the final area nicer, I added some screen transitions, I made the best main menu I've ever made because you can actually interact with it, because you walk out of the cafe to actually play the game. I then added a very quick dialogue system with little text pop-ups. I also made some sounds in Audacity and added them. And with about 5 hours left of the jam, I started to make the itch page and I built the game so I could fix some of the simple issues and test it out. I created logos, decorated the itch page, and I submitted about 2 hours before the deadline. I was tired, I was relieved, but most importantly I was glad to get it finished and get a game which had achieved what I wanted, to be cute, kind of funny and sticking to the theme. So, I learned a lot during the game jam. The first thing I learned was while I was rating other games. I realised that web games tend to do a lot better in game jams, and that's because some people, myself included most of the time, can't be bothered downloading zips and having to extract them. So the first thing I learned about this game jam was making a web game is much better, and I think you have a better chance of people playing your game. The next thing I learned was using an asset pack was one of the best decisions I made. It saved me loads of time, and the artwork was 100 times better than anything I could have produced in 2 weeks if I had that chance. But I was able to use this asset pack which I'd bought, implement all the art, and it was exactly how I wanted it to be. Another thing I realised was I should have done a video on this jam a lot sooner. A lot of people were doing videos straight after the jam had ended and the rating period was now up. That's because the hype of the jam gets people watching those videos and in turn seeing your games and playing them and rating them. The only time I really mentioned the jam on anything other than Twitter was in last week's devlog where I mentioned the day before rating had ended, please play my game. And I'm in quite a few Discords as well, and I didn't mention the game anywhere near enough there, which was a mistake on my end. In the end though, I did get 26 ratings, which is more than I could have ever imagined, and I was really grateful for it. And from the comments I saw of people playing it, they seemed to really enjoy it, apart from the few bugs they had noted. Something I learnt from previous jams, and I tried to apply in this jam, was making your game look catchy. The itch.io page is so important for people playing your game and the thumbnail for it. And I spent a lot of time making the logo, and I used Thomas Lav to look over my logos and make sure they look catchy, and I think they look really catchy. Let me know down below if you agree. And I think that's really important, is that your game stands out. It has to stand out for people to go, ooh, I'll play that. So I think in the next game jam I join, if I combine all of those elements, making it a web game, if I can, making it stand out, sharing it, I think I'll be able to do a lot better than this one. At the time of me recording this, there are actually no results yet, and I'm not sure when the results will be published. I will share on Twitter when I've got my results. Hopefully the game did alright. I really hope it did. So, thank you everyone for watching. If you participated in the jam, let me know down below. I hope it went well for you. Good luck as we wait for our results. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.